Another reason for the fall of Rapture was the ignorance of the necessity for an ordered and recognised hierarchy within society. Objectivism's rejection of organised society made any formal recognition of class impossible. This did not, however, stop it becoming clear that such splits in the populace did exist. In contrast to this idea, Plato's philosopher-king model suggests that the most enlightened and rational individuals should rule, being one to combine leadership, enterprise, and political and philosophical knowledge. Ryan could have been such a leader. Yet he neglected to recognise that role, and he also failed to account for the fact that a stable society requires not just visionary industrialists who create wonders, but also those who maintain them: the engineers, janitors, handymen, and so on. With the permanent presence of these people in Rapture, he had allowed in people who did not completely align with his ideals. It undermined his own society by ideologically ignoring the objective realities of it. Ultimately, his treatment of and unwillingness to settle with these people allowed for a malign actor to radicalise them against him and his system. The hierarchy was confused from the start, with Ryan at the top, torn between how and when to act on behalf of Rapture, the council beneath him, with other elites sometimes holding competing ideas, but not always the means to enact them, the initial wave of free citizens, and the growing underclass. For what was supposed to be a radically free society, an obvious hierarchy either had to be officially recognised and proper rules or moderations put in place, or submit entirely to some form of anarchy. Instead, each of the biggest characters abused their powers, often subversively, keeping up a facade of legitimacy. So, Rapture's descent into chaos illustrates that while libertarian-style ideals may reject the coercion of the state, it doesn't necessarily prevent a slip back into a state-like control, or, more destructively, into complete anarchy. If an individual with greater resources can use them to act in greed, so can a state, and vice versa. When such a process occurs regularly, it doesn't matter who or what is doing it, just that it is being done. A functioning society, therefore, must have a structured hierarchy that acknowledges both the over- and underclasses, as well as defining the function of its leadership, and the laws by which all obey. In objectivism, therefore, it requires a moral framework beyond egoism, and an epistemological framework beyond mere rationality. Similar to libertarianism's almost tautological non-aggression principle, deeper and more realistic ideas exist that can be applied. Realistically too, one shouldn't be so naive to think that everyone in society can attain the status of Übermensch, one who transcends conventional morality to create and live according to his own values, unburdened by the sorrows of others and without the need of a god. Ryan himself is proof that no one man can live perfectly by his own set of principles, let alone a whole society.